What if the secret to living past a century was hidden in plain sight? Nestled deep within an ancient village, a man who has lived through 2 world wars, countless winters, and endless change shares his wisdom. His story is not just about surviving but thriving effortlessly. From peculiar morning rituals to forbidden forest herbs, this is the tale of how one man defied time itself. Could his secrets unlock longevity for you too? Stay tuned to uncover the truth behind his extraordinary life. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that will inspire your soul. In a small, forgotten village nestled between rolling hills and dense woods lived a man named Ivan Petrovich. At 112 years old, he was not only the oldest resident of the village but also its most mysterious figure. People whispered about him as though he were part myth, part reality, a living legend who seemed untouched by the ravages of time. Every morning, without fail, Ivan could be seen walking barefoot along the dewy grass near his cottage. Villagers often wondered why he chose such simplicity when modern conveniences had long reached even their remote corner of the world. But there was something deliberate about everything Ivan did, as though every action carried meaning beyond comprehension. His days began before sunrise, with a routine so precise it bordered on ritualistic. He would wake at 4:30 a.m., drink a cup of herbal tea brewed from leaves he harvested himself, and then step outside into the crisp air. The cold never bothered him. Instead, he embraced it, letting the chill awaken his senses. Afterward, he'd perform a series of slow, meditative movements, an exercise he called dancing with the earth. These weren't flashy or strenuous like the workouts people saw on television. They were subtle, almost imperceptible stretches and bends designed to align body and spirit. It was said that these exercises came from his grandfather, passed down through generations, each movement holding a piece of ancestral knowledge. But what truly set Ivan apart wasn't just his daily habits, it was his connection to nature. His garden was a marvel, bursting with colors and scents that drew visitors from miles away. Yet it wasn't merely decorative. Each plant served a purpose, whether medicinal, culinary, or spiritual. Lavender lined the edges of his property to ward off negative energies, while rows of wild garlic stood tall against infections. Ivan believed that food should come directly from the soil, unprocessed and pure. He ate sparingly, favoring vegetables, nuts, and fermented foods over meat and dairy. This diet, combined with his active lifestyle, kept him spry and sharp-witted well into his second century of life. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Ivan's routine shifted toward work. Unlike many elderly individuals who preferred rest, he found joy in labor. His hands, weathered and calloused, moved with precision as he tended to his bees. Beekeeping was another tradition handed down through his family, and Ivan treated it with reverence. He spoke softly to the insects, believing they understood his intentions. In return, they provided him with honey, wax, and pollinated his plants. The golden liquid became a staple in his diet, drizzled over oatmeal or mixed into teas. Studies might have attributed its health benefits to antioxidants, but Ivan knew better. It was the bond between man and bee that made it sacred. Beyond physical activity, Ivan placed immense value on mental stimulation. Despite having no formal education beyond primary school, he possessed an insatiable curiosity. A stack of books sat on a wooden table inside his home, ranging from philosophy to science. He read slowly, savoring each word, often pausing to reflect on its meaning. Sometimes, he'd jot down thoughts in a leather-bound journal, filling its pages with musings on life, death, and everything in between. To Ivan, learning wasn't confined to classrooms or screens, it happened everywhere, in every moment. Whether observing the changing seasons or listening to the wind rustle through trees, he approached life as a student eager to absorb its lessons. Yet, perhaps the most striking aspect of Ivan's existence was his attitude toward time. While others rushed through their days, chasing deadlines and achievements, Ivan moved deliberately. He understood that life wasn't a race, but a journey meant to be savored. Evenings were reserved for reflection, often spent sitting by the fire with a pipe in hand. The flickering flames cast shadows on the walls, creating patterns that danced like memories. It was during these quiet moments that Ivan felt closest to the universe, as though he were part of something far greater than himself. Though Ivan's habits fascinated those around him, they weren't the sole reason for his longevity. There was an intangible quality to his presence, a calmness that radiated outward, touching everyone he met. People often remarked on how peaceful they felt after speaking with him, as though his serenity was contagious. This inner peace stemmed from years of practicing gratitude. Every night, before retiring to bed, Ivan listed 3 things he was thankful for. Some nights, it was the warmth of his hearth. Other times, it was the laughter of children playing nearby. Gratitude, he believed, was the key to contentment. By focusing on what he had rather than what he lacked, he cultivated a mindset that shielded him from despair. Another cornerstone of Ivan's philosophy was community. Though he cherished solitude, he recognized the importance of human connection. Once a week, he hosted gatherings where villagers shared meals and stories. These events weren't elaborate affairs, just simple evenings filled with homemade bread, stew, and music played on handmade instruments. Laughter echoed through the room, binding hearts together. Ivan believed that happiness was amplified when shared and loneliness diminished when surrounded by loved ones. These bonds formed a safety net, ensuring that no one ever felt abandoned or forgotten. Of course, Ivan wasn't immune to hardship. He had buried friends, lost crops to droughts, and endured winters so harsh they froze rivers solid. Yet, he approached adversity with resilience, viewing challenges as opportunities for growth. When asked how he remained optimistic despite setbacks, he simply smiled and said, "Life is like the seasons. Winter may come, but spring always follows." This perspective allowed him to navigate storms with grace, emerging stronger each time. As word of Ivan's extraordinary life spread, outsiders began visiting the village, hoping to learn his secrets. Journalists, scientists, and curious travelers arrived with notebooks and cameras, eager to document his story. Ivan welcomed them warmly, offering cups of his fragrant tea and answering questions with patience. However, he cautioned against seeking shortcuts to longevity. There are no magic formulas, he'd say. True health comes from balance between mind, body, and soul. By now, Ivan's legacy extended far beyond the borders of his village. His teachings inspired others to adopt simpler, more mindful ways of living. Younger generations looked up to him as a role model, striving to emulate his dedication to self-care and community. Even after turning 112, he showed no signs of slowing down. If anything, his energy seemed to grow, fueled by a zest for discovery and a deep love for life. And so, the tale of Ivan Petrovich serves as both inspiration and reminder. Longevity isn't about chasing eternal youth or defying mortality, it's about embracing the present moment fully and authentically. By nurturing our bodies, minds, and relationships, we can create lives rich with purpose and meaning. Who knows? Perhaps someday, someone else will walk barefoot across dewy grass, carrying forward the timeless wisdom of a man who lived harmoniously with the world around him. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more tales of wisdom and wonder, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let us take you on journeys that spark curiosity and ignite your imagination.